Alright, so today I'm going to be reviewing X-Men Second Coming number 2, chapter 14. There's a lot of things I did like about this comic and a few things that I didn't. We're going to discuss that. First, a few things you need to know. First off, this is like serves as the bookend to Second Coming, and there's about 4 different little epilogue. There's 4 different stories here. They're each done by a different creative team, so it makes a little kind of a little distinguishing kind of when you read the different chapters, which I think is nice, and it just kind of wraps up different story to each one of them. Alright, so let's jump in. First you have your recap page, which is pretty standard these days with every little comic that you buy. Alright, first thing that I liked here was it jumps right in. For those of you who read X-Force 28, this ends exactly, or this starts exactly where that comic ended. So everybody's kind of just looking at hope and astonishment, surprised where her powers that came from, surprised what she did. So I think it's super cool how it just kind of jumps right in. There's no like weird time elapsation or something. Next part I liked was also in chapter 1 here, where it kind of shows the medical bay. So there's like a little thing with Beast fixing Colossus's arm, and then Hope kind of waking up. I don't know if there's a good way to show this. It kind of just makes it flow a little easier. And I don't like in comic books how, yes, they're superheroes, they have superpowers, they're mutants, they can do all these great things, but I don't like how sometimes they're critically injured in the next issue they're fine. I don't understand that and how come some books do that. But here I kind of liked how they showed, right here we have Beast pushing Colossus' arm back in, and so it's kind of, that's why it's fixed when it used by X-Men number 1, the new series. It kind of shows those other injuries here. There's some Archangel saying how his wings might or might not grow back. Miss Dr. Rao dealing with Iceman, and Dr. Box, they're calling him, I guess, dealing with Karma and her leg. There's a weird moment there, but I'm not going to touch on that because it's not a really big thing. Next we have some more Hope and Magneto in the sick bay. Here's my first problem. Right, I think it's up here. Hope calls Magneto Eric. Now, which is fine. It kind of bugged me because most of the main X-Men, you know, Storm, Cyclops, Rogue, they're all like maybe their timeline, because the floating timeline kind of mixes everybody up. They're supposed to be like maybe late to early, or like late 20s, maybe even early 30s. So Hope is supposed to be maybe 16 to 20 in that age range. So Magneto's got to be, I don't know, 45, 50, maybe even 60. So I found it weird, a 20-year-old calling a 40-some, maybe 50-some-year-old by the first name. A little weird, but it's not a huge thing. It's just something I kind of caught and thought it was kind of awkward. Next we're jumping into chapter 2 here. We have a flashback with Hope and Cable kind of seeing how another part of her upbringing. When I first saw this, I kind of thought, ooh, another awkward flashback about how Hope has become the soldier, but didn't we get this in the latest Cable series for 25 issues? So I didn't really see the relevance of it until I kind of realized what we're dealing with here in chapter 2. The funeral for the character that died. Not giving any hints. But here is the beautiful artwork of chapter 2. The fantastic splash page. Just look at it, gorgeous. Mutants lined up, dealing with the aftermath of the last death. Something I thought was a little strange was how there's some mutants they didn't even see during Second Coming show up. Like here we have Carmina Smirnov, or Shaparov. Sorry, I butchered her name. Right here, which we didn't see at all during Second Coming. We see Random, who we saw maybe once or twice over here. Yeah, it just kind of seems a little, I don't know, awkward. And then we see also Deadpool, right behind Colossus here, who didn't show up in Second Coming at all. So it's kind of a little random that he shows up. Something I don't like about the next pages here, Cyclops starts the eulogy, but he kind of breaks down, which is normal for a father, but I feel like it's kind of against character and how lately they've been pushing Cyclops as like this army guy, general, who is here to kind of make sure everyone kind of stays as this army, and he kind of broke down. And then Hope kind of comes and does the eulogy, which I thought was strange because shouldn't she be mourning as much or a little bit less than Cyclops, or I don't know. I thought that was a little strange. And so also something I thought was strange was right up here. Hope looks a little old, doesn't she? Like a certain red-headed, green-eyed, possessor or a mystical bird. So I don't know. It all depends on the artist and how they draw Hope, I guess. The next thing we have is Hope on a bridge, just kind of like solacing or whatever. We have a little new X-Men moment with Prodigy kind of being a little douchey self. Could we have not just killed him off during Second Coming? It would have been great. He doesn't really do anything besides get Cyclops coffee. Just axe him. Maybe if he got his powers back, would be awesome, but for now, kill the guy. Next we have kind of Cyclops demoting Rogue, which I kind of really liked. She's still going to be the leader of the new kids, but she's just kind of not in the combat roster. It's the new direction for Mike Carey's new X-Men Legacy, so that would be interesting to see. Next we have some Wolverine sitting in Kurt's room here, kind of solacing over his death a little while ago. I like that Storm comes and talks to him because they've been in the X-Men for the same amount of time. I was kind of like when we reject from the new kids and get back to the old basic stuff. So Giant says X-Men right there, dealing with each other. Next we kind of an awkward segment with Wolverine and X-23 setting up her new book, which is, I think, is they need to do, but it's kind of a little awkward and unnecessary, really. Like, I don't know. I like the start of the new books, and I think it's going to be a good book with Marjorie Liu writing, and it should be good, but it came off a little awkward and forced. Next we have another awkward Cyclops Wolverine conversation that we don't need to really touch on, where this is going into the heroic age, and Cyclops tells him that X-Force is no longer needed. But then we have Uncanny X-Force debuting in October. I don't know where to hold this. I like this team. I don't know, I just don't know. I like everyone in this team. Maybe Phantom X is my least favorite character, because I don't really know him that well since there's not much books with him. Yeah, I like most of the characters in this book, I just don't know if they're going to mix well. But we'll have to find out in October. And finally we go to Chapter 4, which is Mad Fraction Terry Dodson. We have some core X-Men stuff, so we have some Iceman, Cyclops stuff going on here, which I like, or like I mentioned earlier, I always like it when they go back to the basics. We have a Namor Beast thing about betrayal and leaving your own kind. Thought it was nice Namor sticking it to Beast for leaving. I don't know, I don't think that Beasts should be coming back and going and coming and going. I find it annoying. There's a small little Cyclops and Emma thing we don't need to really talk about, it's just a little couple thing. Then Emma goes over to Hope, looks at her, and then there's this look that we've been ballooning for a long time, and it's the payoff that I want. I just wish there was more of it at Second Coming. And so they reprint a panel from Uncanny 510. Ooh, so excited! This is what's got me really excited for the X books for the next little bit. And then here we have 5 lights, a little send-off to the new Uncanny X-Men stuff. There's 5 lights right there, and they're all X-Genes relighted. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited for that. New direction for the X-Books. Overall, I think Second Coming is great. Didn't really get the payoff I wanted, but I think that they're just going to hint it, and maybe we'll get something that we want by 2011. So overall, I'd give this issue 4.5 out of 5. Go get it. It's a good jumping on point. And if you've been reading Second Coming, it's great conclusion.